Welcome back to World War II, it's already late 1915. So as you can see, these are the numbers. In the West, I was numbered by 2.3 million, the Italian front were numbered by 3 million, and the East front were numbered by 2,000. Let's continue the fighting. The German offensive restarts. They basically just stop the Russians from advancing East Russia if they wanted. But since the Russians are flooding in new troops, they were unable to make many advances in Poland. So, of course, the Northern advance caught up to them. And this was when they made their grand retreat from Poland. The entire Northern Army Germany crashed down on the Poles. Oh boy. It's not good. Except when Russian reinforcements had arrived. And they had to fight back. Forcing the Germans to retreat, allowing the Russians further north. To get north, and more time to evacuate. And managed to buy enough time. At the same time in the West. Sort of scenario. Now, also the rebels have begun to gain more traction. Ukraine, on the west, there is a major offensive without Great Britain support. It's only a matter of time before France falls. Same time in Italy. Austria made it next offensive. Now, Austria has agreed on a good strategy. Content, I like a YouTube video. Hi. I know. The plans to capture Venice, which makes Italy mad. But at the same time, Austria makes its attack on the Eastern Front with less troops than the Russians. The Austrians had only told about 1 million men in this region, while the Russians had about 1.5 million in this region, because they had planned an offensive here. Nicholas's army regaining troops faster than the Germans could. They knew that this might be their last chance to launch a true offensive. Now, the Russian supply issues have been solved. Things are looking good for the Entente. This overpowered Germany could still lose the war. At the same time, on the Ottoman front, there wasn't really much happening, aside from the large Russian counterattack, which saw the Ottomans completely be kicked out of Russia. And the Russians just kept going. Russia invades Armenia. And and tries to capture the city of Van. The Ottomans are not happy. So, let's just add another front. Because we need another front. Ottoman front. Also on the Balkan front, instead of happening in Southeastern Europe. Baby, okay. I'm showing that you've given me enough love for now. Okay, baby? It's fine. No. Don't be sad. Okay. And for the Allied soldiers in the Ottoman front, we have about 900,000 Russian soldiers, which is good. We finally outnumbered them on one front. In the Balkan front, solid 2 mil. Since it collapsed, the entire front came crashing down when Serbia fell last episode. So yeah, we just have this left. And also, the Russians are kinda not really joking around here. You say
delicious flavors worth fanning over. They're great! Part of a complete breakfast.
ow! However, by now the Russians had mobilized over 4 million men on the Eastern Front. And by now the Germans had already employed practically all of their strength in the West. Oh, oops. What? Alright, so now we had completely doubled down in the West. With them getting a lot more support from Austria. Also at the same time, Great Britain joined the war. Helping the French get at least 4 million. Italian front was still going forward. At least now, the Russians decided to make their grand defensive. And two main attacks were in Austria and Hungary. Where most of their forces were just this week. Russians, they made quite some success. At the same time, against the combined Austro-German force, performed more mixed. Granted, it did actually see a lot more success because they had more ground to cover. The Russians then decided to turn their eyes towards Warsaw and the head of the German puppet government. They got to the outskirts of the city. In Washington, then the Germans managed to drive them back. But there was still a hole in the front. And for some time, the Russians tried to extort this while they could. They sent another force towards Warsaw. But this time, it surrounded the outer German forces, forcing them to surrender. Now with a much wider advance. Germans were in shambles. They could only send about 300,000 more soldiers to the sector from the Eastern Front. They decided to attack from the Italian front and not the West, however. Even if the West forgot to add Great Britain joining. Right now it's late 1916. So we have Romania joining the war. Romania was convinced by Russia's great success. I'm seeing this Romania one just as great as Russia. Just decided to invade all of Transylvania. Since the Austrians were prepared, the entire Eastern Front began to collapse. The urgent reinforcements that they had needed barely came in time to hold open the path of retreat for their soldiers in Transylvania. But they were still surrounded at the end, at least the last soldiers. The grand counterattack had convinced the Germans and the Russians both. They still needed more soldiers. So now if the German is ready to attack more soldiers. Also, the massive army. The massive army of 5.6 million. Transylvania, main region, and they were forced to send reinforcements too. And that's still just by October. They were still heavily outnumbered. Although this was just 700,000, they were being supported by 300,000 Russian soldiers. But they were doing anything. So, back in Eastern Europe, the war begins to change. And once again, they had begun to look up for the Allies in the East and the West. The German officials were half of the British Expeditionary Force to host them. Then they could another attack. And they could try attack on Paris. By now they've lost an entire element thrives. They managed to push up to the barn, right next to Paris, before being halted. Just then, the British forces decided to use naval landings against the Germans. You know, how to. Also, this time I Belgium helped the Germans. But still heavily outnumbered the Allies in the West. And managed to cross the Marne in several places. Well, not really several, it was just in one place for now. In the West. But then they just decided to deny the Germans and it's a French port. So they decided to push for Calais. They also made a counterattack against the Germans. Now the Germans were turning north, trying to cause the British, and now focus on the French. The French had time to prepare their defenses. When the British realized that their plan had failed, they retreated. Though they were surrounded, so they retreated into the house itself. And were trapped. And now French relief efforts had done little. But they did manage to push back the Germans on the Eastern Front. The Germans made their counterattack to the Russians' counterattack. By now, Russia was falling. The rebels are hindering its ability to fight in the Southern Front. So once the Southern Front would collapse, I mean, the Germans could take Ukraine and they'll have all the food that they would need. Germans being very close to Petrograd, and the Russians decided to double down on trying to fight the Germans. So they agreed with Romania to give up Poland in order to shorten the front line. They also agreed, though, to keep on fighting against Austria-Hungary for now. In the short term. By now, Austria's trying to break the connection between Russia and Romania. Also, Montenegro is finally being invaded. At the end of 1916. So yay for them. Suffering of being blockaded is done. But then Bulgaria invaded Romania in December. Basically diverting their attention. Also just gonna count this as part of the Transylvanian front. The Austro-Hungarian managed to push all the way up to the Romanian border in a small stop. Just at the same time, they had continued their entire front They were pushing their front southward. At the same time, the Russians decided to double down against Austria-Hungary, the security of their southern front. The battles in Transylvania were huge. Small Romanian army advances along with large Russian ones. Obviously, the Austro-Hungarians were desperate to gain access to Romanian oil for tanks. Now the Germans decided to help Austria get the oil they needed. In return, they would give Austria half the tanks that they could make in the next 2 years. And after that, well, they don't know. And now the entire Eastern Front has collapsed. That's on the Russian side. This is a battle for Ukraine. Russia finally had their very first success. After the Battle of Melitopol, they managed to capture some cities and cut their enemies in two. Just in the Kuban also, the Russians had made slight advances. So yeah. So this is also, well, we're gonna reach 4,000 views soon. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah, just up by now. This series, the Allies have begun to realize that the war is practically lost already. Russian forces in Estonia don't give up. They continue to fight. They launch a desperate attack. He's taking to Tallinn. So Germans just now decide that this will be their next line of attack. Attack further east. Capturing more and more land. Land resources to keep going further. And capturing more resources to keep going. Capture more. You get the point by now. And if you don't, well, I don't know. So essentially, the Germans decided to continue their advance towards Ukraine. The Russians tried to do everything in their power to stop them. March of 1917. German advance into western Ukraine had truly begun. Well, things are not looking good. But see you guys next time. Bye-bye.